Hey guys, this is Jason Tonioli. I am here with Amazing Vacations USA, and I am joined by three amazing people. I've got Walter Pate from Costa Rica. I've got Arnaldo, who's one of the best kayakers I know in Costa Rica as well, from Amazing Vacations Costa Rica. And then I have our guest today is Mariano or Saba, who is one of the, we call him the Caballero del Rio, one of the gentlemen of the river from down in Costa Rica. And the reason we're doing these, I don't call them podcasts, call them these live videos, is we want to just share the amazing things about Costa Rica, the history and of the whitewater down here. And so it's one of those things where I feel like there's so many cool stories and things that have happened down there that people would be interested in, and so that's why we're here. So Mariano, maybe to get started, if we could have you share a little bit about yourself, tell us where you come from, and just introduce yourself.
Well, thank you. And my name is Mariano Salazar, and I'm from Turrialba. I started guiding pretty much like in 86, pretty much. I've been doing a lot of guiding around, United States and a little bit of Mexico and Argentina. Now I don't do that anymore. I go to the river only like on very special occasions with my kids or friends that want to just go and float. And I work in California for now for the summer. Love what I do, and that's pretty much.
Awesome. And so, are you a raft guy, a kayaker? What boats what do you prefer?
I got to start with like here in Turrialba. When we were growing up, we used to go to the rivers all the time. Our parents didn't let us go to the Reventason River because at the time they were like releasing water from the dam. So a lot of fishermen used to die because first they got caught in between, from the dam release. So we used to go, a whole bunch of friends that later became guides. We used to go fishing for bobble fishing. Bobble fish is like, it used to be like so good. I mean, like to go and spend the whole day on the river. What happened in one of those days, I was down, with some friends, and we see all this boat going down the river with some tourists and a guide in the back and a kayaker. And I just went and I liked it caught my eye, and then later on at this restaurant on the way back from the river, I saw these guys. So I went and I talked to one of the guys with Fernando, and I asked like, so what is this? And I asked about how is this, what is it? And then he told me, and we're looking for guides, Tico guides. And I say, well, how can I do that? And he goes, well, do you speak English? Yeah. Can you go to the United States? I say, yes. So he gave me a phone number and a napkin. And I called Monday to Costa Rica Expeditions, the first company. I talked to Michael K. He gave me an interview on Tuesday. And on Thursday, I was with a ticket on the way to Coloma, to California, Sacramento, and then Coloma for whitewater school. And that's the beginning of the whole thing.
Wow. And so that was right. So the Reventason Dam, the original dam, was put in then back when you started boating then?
Late 60s. Pretty much like in the late 60s. But the dam was already there, But that's how everything started. I was, we were fishing. We used to go, on the weekend and fish the whole day, but always on the river.
And they would just turn the dam on and it'd kill fishermen then? That's kind of how when it started?
The people never understood, or they never got the like, they have like news on the radio about, releasing some water, because they will release water. Of course, when they dammed the Reventason on the Cachi Dam, they held some, a lot of water, but they released some. And especially when it rained so much, they released some more. So there were a lot of accidents of people like fishing at night and getting caught and, dying from all this. So it was like a dangerous river. It was really funny because like my parents always told me, like, it's really funny. We try to keep you away from this dangerous river, and that's where you end up.
Got it.
So,
Well, I know for quite a while on the Reventación there was a lot of rafting, and that's kind of in Turrialba is where a lot of the tourism for rafting started in Costa Rica. I know. Tell me a little bit about that, I guess, or were you there during that time period?
yeah, we used to like. It was really funny because we used to get from Turrialba to San Jose, an hour and a half, 2 hours on the bus, get to San Jose the night before in the afternoon, go to Mas por Menos, a local market, buy the food for the next trip, pack the food for the next trip, pack all the boat and everything from this warehouse to bring it to Turrialba, run the river. Oh, go to pick up the customers, the clients at the hotels, take them to the river, do the whole thing, inflate the raft. It was a lot of work, a lot of work. And then roll everything, bring it back, drop the customers, and then go to the warehouse, unload the van and everything, come back, 7 o'clock on the bus to Turrialba, get to Turrialba, get to my house, and my mom will tell me, like, you got a call from whoever, you got another trip tomorrow. Because the trips were like day by day, by the hour. So I have to get on the 9 o'clock bus back to San Jose and do the same thing every day, until like we got to a point where I told like Rafa and everybody else, like, why do we bring even the water from San Jose? I'm pretty sure that the water from Turrialba is as good as the water from San Jose, probably better. Why do we have to bring all the boats? Why don't we build a warehouse in Turrialba? Until it happened, but I'm pretty sure that I was not the only one complaining, but that's how we used to do.
Wow. And so that was when you originally started out. That was running the Reventación, or was it running the Pecuari?
Pretty much the Reventación. When I remember that we used to go to the Pacuare maybe like in the season, because we have like high season, like October and all that. We used to go to the Pacuare maybe like 2-3 times a month. And we used to go to the Pacuare only for a 2-day trip.
Mm-hmm.
It was not until like I started working with Rios Tropicales that we start running the Pacuare on a dangerous 1-day trip. And we used to bring the people, again, with the boats and everything, and the food and everything, pack it up in an ox cart, take it all the way down to the river, and by 10 o'clock, we have to be there, pumping, safety talk, rigging everything, going down and getting out of the river by 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Now it's so easy. You don't even have to do that. We used to, carry all that and do all that, pack it up, and then unpack it, roll it, and out of here.
Wow.
So
a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't know about the Reventación River. So, How did that river compare to the Pecuari? I mean, you've run both of them lots and lots of times. And then they dammed it, and it kind of ruined the whole river for tourism. At that point, what did it used to be like?
I have like 3 stages of the Reventación. We have like we used to run like the powerhouse, and you run the powerhouse, and it was like really like nice class 4, 3 plus stretch of the river until you get to the Curique section, and then everything's back to normal. But then, that was the commercial one. But then we start running like some cruise ships that we end up early, and then we always wonder like, well, all the kayakers are going down there in Peralta, it's like, Peralta, yeah. Well, why don't we put a boat together, all guides, and let's go? So we start going to Peralta. The first hour of Peralta up to the entrance of the Turrialba River. I'm done some boating, and the first section was like, you're told like not to read water and not to memorize. But over there in a raft, you have to memorize. You have to know where to be for the next rapping. It's like you look landmarks and go to the left. Okay, landmark, go to the right, because otherwise you'll be in the water for a long time in a really, really, really heavy and fast class 5 water. And then you have the lower part of the Peralta, which It was amazing. I mean, like that river was so amazing. And then we have the Pascua section. That was another opening. It was like the best. I rated the best class 4 section for the time you're in the water and for the length of the trip. Just you know,
So it's
pumping water, white water.
So you would say that section on the Reventason you would say is better than the Pequari River then? So it would better, like maybe even the best in Costa Rica for commercial trips?
I think that the Pequari has like a really nice white water, beautiful white water, that you can enjoy it for all ages and for everybody. And the beauty of nature on the Pequares, it makes it really, 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 stand on its own. But the action that you get on the Peralta section, that you used to get on the Peralta section, and the action that you used to get as a whitewater rafter, on the Pascua section, it's incredible. It was incredible before the dam.
So would you, just speaking about that, when they, I mean, is there any chance that it could improve or get better someday? I guess they've eliminated that resource that they had at this point now, right?
Well, I haven't seen the section that is run now. Arnaldo, maybe you guys can. I haven't run that part. I don't know where the Casa de Máquinas is, and the lower they say that they're running some of that stretch.
Down by Peralta, you mean?
Uh-huh.
Well, now with the new dam that they built, they destroy one of the most greatest whitewater in Costa Rica, which is the Pascua section. Now there is only 2 rapids. From that stretch, there used to be like 24 rapids used to be, class 4 rapids. Now there is only 2 because then it's all filled up with water in the
lake.
In the new dam. So it's still a really nice stretch, but it's a shame, really, really a shame, because I think kayakers and rough guiders and river family will be like in the skills level, like way, way, way higher if that river is still running.
Well, I'm sure it would have brought even more people. I mean, I can just only imagine what, now that tourism's taken off in Costa Rica, had they not destroyed that resource, what it could do. I don't know if they'll ever pull it down, but if they do, man, I would think what a great gift back to the tourism industry down there.
Yeah,
bring a lot of money, I'm sure. Be better than the power that it creates.
That's difficult. Well, hopefully, who knows? Saba, Mai, let's go recap. Let's. It's interesting to know who was there guiding at that time. I mean, you mentioned the Michael Kane, which is, I would say, the pioneer of the rafting in Costa Rica. He came and then he gave you the ticket to go to California to train and then do it. Yeah. Wow. So who else was guiding at that time?
Osvaldo Trejos, Mario Bonilla. Mario Bonilla was the first one. Osvaldo, Fernando Castaneda, Mario Bonilla, Osvaldo Castaneda, Fernando, Lars Christensen, Pongo, Alexander Baker, Pongo. Then we have then Rafa, and Rafa was there too, and Fernando, and we have a whole bunch of like we got this guy Dave from Arizona. They came over. He taught us a lot of boat repairing and and all those tricks that they use. He used to work on the Grand Canyon, so he knew a lot of that stuff. We have many guys used to come over and work with us, but pretty much like we were like maybe like not even 10 guides in Costa Rica originally from here.
Wow, when you were talking, like when this guy came from Arizona, and Michael and Rafa and all of them were there. Which was the other destination of talking about rafting? I mean, it was Costa Rica, it was California where you were. Where else was famous at that time?
Oh, everywhere. I mean, well, New Zealand, Australia.
Uh-huh.
There were some, there were like kayakers, going to Nepal, going to Turkey, going to, there was the whole world just open, to go you know, and do whitewater rafting. I mean, it was
Wow.
like you have a paddle, you have a job, anywhere.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
was told at the beginning, actually, even when I started, when I was a kid, they were like, "Hey, Walter, if you want to go into this, you have to train 1 year." And I remember maybe it was Yao, I think he was telling me like he started doing like intertips, just floating behind the rafts, and then they were looking for try to get it right in the raft. How was that? That
Well, we used to have we used to have all these friends. I mean, we started rafting, and it's just like Mitty, just like Mitty. Mitty and we were in high school together. And Mitty was Mitty kept like these orchids. And Mitty was always working and doing something. He used to build these canisters to grow orchids, and we used to I used to tell him I was guiding already, and I used to tell him Mitty, you have to come over and work on the river. You have to come over and work on the river because he had a family, he had a house, and and he was good. Mitty was my buddy, my friend, my brother, and he still, we get together, we go on with a lot of things, and that trip, we used to go down the river. Mitty used to have a kayak. I can remember what was the mate of the kayak, but the bottom, it was like somebody gave it to him. So the bottom was you can see through up to the light, and it had like a big cut, like a big S cut at the bottom right here under the seat. So because Mitty used to make those canisters for the orchids with wire, he burned little holes on the side of the cut. But I mean, we're talking like Frankenstein style, like maybe like a meter. I mean, I'm not kidding, a meter of a cut, and he did it. I watched him. He did it little by little by little by little, all the way up, and then he put some tar, like the stuff that you put on the roof, tar. So if he won't be able to move, he'll be like his butt will be on the water. You know, that's how it was. So when we got Alejo and Rafa, we're gonna do bridge to bridge. And, if you do bridge to bridge, that was like you're up there, with the big dogs. And Mitty, I let Mitty borrow my boat. I said yeah, go ahead, take it, because I got a boat because I just got a boat. I just got a boat from somebody, and it was the right price, and I bought it. And I took it to Pejiwaya a couple of times, but I never kayaked. I never have. I went out with because I had this girlfriend that wanted to go kayaking, and she wanted me to go kayaking. Well, of course, it was like a necessity. But anyway, I let him borrow that boat, and I was in Pascua waiting for this guy. So my clients were really scared of going into this class 4 because we didn't used to go. That was the beginning to go to class 4. So I told my friends, I said, my clients, I said, you know what? My friend is coming over with my boss and my safety kayaker. So we're going to have 3 safety kayakers on this run. But they were really waiting for my friend, because I said I'm really nervous because I hope he makes it, because this is like his graduation. And then all of a sudden they came over, and you can see the face on Mitty, and it was such a happy trip that the other day when he talked about that, it brought me back to that moment. We ran the whole river with the 3 kayakers, and it was like they didn't even know. I didn't even care about the rapids, I mean, we did it and everything, but it was like the spirit of happiness was so built up on everybody that everybody just was so overwhelmed with the intensity of the rapids and the intensity of having this guy already there,
Awesome.
doing the graduating pretty much.
Awesome.
So I remember that pretty much.
So with your connections with California, have you been able to? You've probably been able to introduce a lot of Ticos or people from Turrialba and to the Whitewater. Then, right? How many people would you say you've introduced to rafting and helped them have a career in guiding?
I don't know. I have a lot of people,
actually,
a lot of friends.
Saba, today, last year he's still doing it. Saba, he's still bringing guys to California. Last year, I don't know how many you bring, right? I mean, he's still doing it. And thank you for that, because it's a good for us as a guides and as a person. Get to know different rivers, get to know different cultures.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that.
The thing about this with California and Coloma, and all, I've been like guiding in Colorado. I've been guiding in Idaho. Where else? I've done like rivers around, but I remember I went to Twin Lakes on the Arkansas. On the upper stretch of the Arkansas, by the biggest rapid here is Pine Creek. That's what we used to run. When I went there, I thought that we were going to run the Arkansas, which is like, no big deal with what I ran in California or here, the commercial part. But when I got there, it's like Twin Lakes is like in the middle of the road of Aspen, and like near Independence Pass, and there is like nothing. A straight road and a gas station, and it's like, oh my God, what is this? It's like, this is not even a town. But we used to get people there, and we used to run like really heavy class 4, but worse than a class 4 is the water was so cold. The water was freezing cold, and Pine Creek is like a really long class 4 with dynamite rocks from the train and dynamite rocks from the highway, and a big hole at the bottom, so it was really scary. When I got there, the owner of the company was like, okay, we're going to run two people, 2 guides per boat, except for Mariano's and mine. And I haven't even seen the rapid. And I just look at him and I'm like, we ran the river, we ran the rapid and everything. Then later at night, we're like having a beer, and I go like, how come you put 2 guys in everybody? Because he said that because when I asked you on the interview if you run Peralta, and I said like, yeah. He was like, well, that I knew it. I ran Peralta, and I knew that the guy was here in Costa Rica. So we have a name. We have a name in California and the United States, and hopefully all over the world. For good guides. We run all year round, and since we're like really on a big school training every day, plus we have a lot of people from different places, and even California, mostly California, that come down here and spend time and work, and they go with the seasons, and so we have like families already that are already like knowing each other and stuff, and in California we have a name. We have we're pretty good, and Ticos have their own name out there, their own qualifications.
I think people have a lot of respect for the guides down in Costa Rica. I mean, you guys are hard workers, and just I think people are friendly down in Costa Rica too. That's another thing that they're just good people. So I'm curious, as many trips have you done, what's one of the funniest stories you've had from or been part of on the river? A funny story.
Funny story.
Only
Could be clients. It could be clients doing something really stupid. It could just something that makes you laugh when you think back and like, oh my gosh.
I have a lot, but I can come up with something. When we start rafting like the Peralta section and the lower Reventason section, we like at the beginning we used to take TVs and VCRs and a boat and a life jacket and a paddle and a helmet and all that to universities and to bars and in all these places to get customers, to get clients to go rafting with us. And I remember that at one time we used to like go to this. It was like a club right on the Paseo Colón, and so we have a trip. We used to go. Mitty and I used to go to this place, show on the big screen the videos of Peralta, and get people sign up right there until like 2:00 in the morning. You know, I mean, like and then the next is like go to sleep and wake up at 5:00, pack everything and go to Turrialba and run the river and back to San Jose. And I mean, like that took a lot of effort. But anyway, we start doing that, and then we start getting more people into this, and we start getting like the president of Costa Rica and the first lady and the kids, and then these kids grew up. And then these kids are going to school in United States, and they come over to the river, and it's like all the sons of the congressman, and the son of the president of Congress, the son of the president, and the president of the Congress, son, and their friends, you know, muscular, college kids, and we're going down in Peralta, and as soon as we turn, you know. We call it the mouth of the tiger, where there is no come back. You know, that's it. You know, you're done. You start the class 5 section, and all these guys are like in the middle of the raft, and I keep looking at Mitty, and it's like Mitty was like my safety kayaker, you know, always. So we're running down the river, and it's like, well, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, man. And I said, like, well, you better give me a really good lines, man, around, because otherwise we're gonna be on the front page of the newspaper tomorrow if something happens here, man. So that was one of the funniest trips, because the land of the thousand holes, you know, it's like you know when you're done with the class 5 and you're like letting out all the stress, but you're like almost at the end of the land of the thousand holes. And I didn't know, because everything changes from season to season. There was a huge hole, like a huge hole at the bottom. I don't know if Arnaldo remembers that, or Pate, that you could put a whole bus and roll, you know, and surf it. And I look at Mitty, and I'm just getting all cocky in the raft, and we're like, well, we did it, man. Land of the thousand holes behind. And he goes like, yeah, 1,002. And I said, like, what do you mean 1,002? He goes like, yeah, you're not gonna miss that one. The thing is so huge that I tried to skip it on the right side, and well, I did, but I mean, like, I didn't know there was a hole. But that was a really funny trip that we got there on another one of those funny trips. We got many. I mean, like, we have many trips, fun trips.
So you didn't flip them over in the hole then, huh?
No, I didn't. But I mean, the guys
time.
were like, they paddle good. But I mean, like, we used to do trips on the General for kayakers only. So I used to row the boat, and Mitty would be like one of the kayakers with somebody else. So I was always there, you know, like taking care of the food and taking care of all the stuff, buying the food and packing and everything. And actually, the General season was really nice, because we used to do like 4 or 5 day trips, just spending surfing. I used to like surf, you know, just for fun with the oarboat. And everybody will go and surf, and when they go and have lunch, I would just get there with the oarboat and just surf, you know. It was like, we had a really good time out there. Yeah.
Huh. And Walter, with the General section, is that the section that we did on our scouting trip a couple of years ago?
Actually, that's the pudding.
That is.
They used to start.
Okay. Got it. So I've run, I think, part of that section. So that was one of the times I would say I was boating as a class 3 boater. I was like, whoa.
And we did it in low water, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Big water is something else. It's like if you look at Turrialba and you see the valley of Turrialba is big, but when you go and see General, it collects so much water, and from the time we used to go like the night before and prep everything, you know, and all the boats and everything. By the time they get there, around 11 or noon, there will be like raining, you know, little rain and a little rain and a little rain, and then the river start getting like big. The small river where you put in, you know, at the Pejivalle and Pacuare, right there. But then when you go into the first river, that's, you know, it's, whoa, this is good. This is going to be fun. But then you get to the bigger river and then everything changes, you know, like kind of, I remember that I started like going like, this is like Grand Canyon stuff, you know, just going down in this huge boat and you're packed. That's the first day. You're like heavy, you know, and the camps, you know, everything was really nice. We used to have a really good team. That makes the total difference, you know. It's you enjoy the trip.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, what of all the rivers that are still available to paddle in Costa Rica, what would you say is your favorite river for rafting on?
I have to go to Pacuare because I mean, like I done the Sarapiquí, you know, and I done some rivers up there in Fortuna and all that. But you know, you have a long stretch of water with so many different settings. You know, you have like a really nice, you know, wall canyon open up into a beautiful landscape, you know, in the canyons again, and then opens up again to a long set of boulders and everything. It is, I just see it like different sections of the river, and every section has, you know, like their own little things, you know, especially when you take the time off and of work and, you know, just run it by yourself, or even, you know, even when you have like you showing somebody, you know, the secrets, the little things that go around that maybe you miss them and keep going because you're on the trip and you're on time frame and day tripper, you know, and stuff like that. If you don't enjoy it and you don't have time for those little things, or stopping for to show somebody something, that, you know, it's like you missed all that. But I think the Pacuare it will be like one of my favorite ones because you see a lot of things in there.
Yeah. Well, so you were there during the time when for a while they were trying to dam the Pacuare. I know there's still the remnants of the dam Dos Montañas. What was that?
Yeah.
What was that like? I mean, share a little bit about that history.
It was really bad because you know, you're being threatened by all these people that work and they're friends of yours, and you go to a bar and people go like, "Oh, we're gonna dam the river. What are you guys gonna do?" You know, like trying to like make you feel like, you know, like bad about it, and then you try to fight over it and say like, "Well, what are you guys gonna do?" Because, you know, we produce a lot of income to me, which I come here and buy my beer or buy my food, and then, you know, I buy gas at the gas station. When all this is gone, nobody's gonna come over and do anything. They didn't understand that at that moment, and we start like going down the river, and they will like you start seeing all this machinery, you know, this like Dos Montañas. There was like a whole city, a whole town on the right side, and bridges and big cranes and big, you know, people all over the place. And there was a time where they won't let us go through the rapid to those montañas because they were like dynamite on the top. There used to be monkeys out there. There used to be like white faced monkeys. I don't know now, but there used to be like white faced monkeys out there in Congos up in the canyon, and they will be like, you know, screaming, you know, when you pass by and everything. But then we have rocks falling down because of the dynamite and all the stuff that the studies they were doing over there. So we used to like have to like take out right in the middle of the rapid, get out, So we have to get down with the rowboat and then just grab a micro eddy, jump out and hold with a rope, pull the rope and hold the boat there, and have everybody else helping you to get out, because that's where we get out. We did start running, trips to do that, and all that, until we got people got organized, and Rafa went, talked to the Congress, and Michael did his part, and everybody did. We kind of united. We got the championships, and happening at the time, and we put all these people on the canyon. People camp out there. We camp out there, and we made a big input. We have clients that are very important companies that went to talk to the president, and I represent this company, and blah blah blah. We bring so many people here to do trips. We used to have big trips coming down. A lot of people coming down from the United States and run the river. So we tried to make it happen, and it did. So.
And then do you, with the way things have changed, do you feel like the government eventually is going to try and dam more rivers down there, or have they kind of moved on from that?
This is a very important point, because the minister right now is a really good friend, and he used to be a surfer. He's cousin of my friend Alejo, and Carlos Manuel just got a job in Washington. Very important job. And he's one of those guys that used to surf and kayak and raft and love the rivers, from the same pretty much point of view. And the guy is pretty good. He's he said that he was gonna destroy a dam just to prove, because they already complete the cycle. So we're trying to change, but now he's gonna have to go, because there's no way to keep him over here. So hopefully the next one that comes along is not going to be, bending the elbow, like we say, just giving in onto to all these corporations, that. Mm-hmm. So that's the only thing that I can, think of.
Well, and I do think, I think the more research there is, the more people start to realize that the hydropower and the water power isn't nearly as good as some of their options. I see all the geothermal power options down in Costa Rica, and I would think that's a much cleaner, better energy source than trying to dam the rivers up and ruin the tourism.
Yeah, I think that that like I say, this is a really good person to have in there, because I know for a fact that I can just go and say hey, what are you doing? With all because I know him, and he's on our side and in that matter, and he understands that part. Yeah. But hopefully we don't get one of these, politicians that just want to please corporations and that. We already proved that we don't need that much power. What are we gonna do? We need to understand that solar, wind, and geothermal is the solution, and we got it. We got it all. It's just a matter of putting the money and putting the effort into it. It's just
right.
a lot of business.
What? Just switching topics. What if you were talking to an American? I think Walter, it'd be very interesting for us to do this maybe in Spanish and have a similar series for those in Costa Rica. But I think my hope is for people in the United States to be able to, that'll be traveling down here. What advice would you have for people who enjoy whitewater and aren't really familiar with Costa Rica? What would you tell somebody that's trying to decide, I can go do the American River, or I'm in Colorado, I got Idaho rivers, why would I want to come to Costa Rica?
I always tell people that rivers have rivers have their own magic, their own mysterious ways to make you fall in love with them. But I think that I will honestly just use my let them imagine, and giving them the thing that the culture, the food, the music, we got a lot of different blends of etnias here in Costa Rica, and I think that everywhere you go, you can have either music or because everything else is there. Everything else. We keep we keep the country. We sell the country that is green. It's looking forward, looking into that direction. Um, that is great, but we need to add the culture. We need to add the music. Like you need to add the food. You need to work a little bit more on that. On not selling a trip here because I was in California and I guide like California style, or I do California style, or whatever. We just need to be ourselves. We need to, we used to have like music in the trips, from like we used to call the Pachanga tonight. Pachanga tonight. We'll have like dinner with the clients, and then we'll have like with pots and start playing drums and start singing, and everybody will come up to me and go like, that was so great, that make the whole difference. What else are you going to get that on a commercial trip?
Yeah. But it's been interesting as for this past several years as we've been sharing with people here and encouraging them to come down to Costa Rica. I think one of the things Americans in general, I think, picture Costa Rica as, it's south of the border, so it's all Mexico. And I don't think people realize the culture difference and just the food, and it's so different. But I think for the thing that's surprising to me is the water quality. Like being able to drink the water and not get sick is such an important thing. And I think Americans in general have this idea that, Mexico, if you go to Mexico, you'll get sick. And a lot of the water is fine in Mexico, but in general, Costa Rica's the water's good. They pick up their garbage. It's clean. The people are nice. A lot of people speak English. It's a different place than what I think most Americans picture if they've never been there.
I think that showing and talking about the standards that we have, it makes a difference. Sometimes people think about numbers and they understand. But I always go down the road and I go like, you see that little construction there? You see that little tank painted blue on the side of the road? And they go like, yeah, well, that's the water tank. And you know why it's painted that color? Because it's been certified. It's been checked by the government. That means that water that we're consuming here in this little area is good to drink. And you can have that in the whole country. There are like few places that I will not advise to do it, but most of the country, you can drink water from the faucet, straight from the faucet.
Yeah, well, I would think from a tourism standpoint. I mean, I've been a marketing guy for 20 years, but from a tourism standpoint, having water quality that you can drink, and I think the dams. I mean, that would just be another reason if I can show that the water is always clean. And I know when you do put the dams in, gosh, it's just it smells bad, it's dirty, it causes problems. I think it would be good for tourism in general to have less dams for sure, to have the water be clean. So.
That's for sure.
So maybe one last question. Then I know we try to wrap these up no more than about 50 minutes. But so everybody who does whitewater rafting or kayaking knows that there's sometimes you swim. Sometimes there's bad stuff that happens. So maybe share one of your stories. We don't want to scare everybody about stuff, but as a guide, share maybe one of those experiences that you learned something from when somebody went out of the boat or that others could have learned from.
Let's see. Well, in these trips that I told you is like on the General with the kayakers. You get so used to running. Like the last big rapid was Chachalaca. It was a huge wave and a huge hole on the other side of Chachalaca of the wave. And I'm proud to say that I never made it through, right side up, only once, and I got a picture. That's it. but I remember that we have like we on the General mostly because we will come and start setting up the kitchen and it's raining and tarp and setting up the tents and putting the tents away in the whole thing, and you're not looking at the river, you're not looking at the boats. By the time we finish dinner, happy hour and dinner, and the whole thing is like 9 o'clock, then you turn around and it's pitch dark. And then I just keep looking, and I'm like, where are the boats? And we're like in the middle of nowhere. like we were at the whirlpool, camp. And then we start like flashing. And then where I was pointing, where the water was, of course, the boats were not there because the water came up. So the boats are like maybe like 50 meters down deep doing endos tied to the trees underneath. So we have to get all the guys with knives and dive and cut the ropes. And they come up and swim to shore. We got kayaks in the eddies, just floating around, and it's like a whole mess. Everybody just dropped the plates and ran to the river and go and grab the kayaks and rescue. It was a mess. I mean, like we were cooking. We were like, making the pasta, making salad and the whole thing. Just kind of turn around and go like, where's the boats, man? So that's like.
What were the clients? Did the clients have? Were they just like, oh?
They were laughing. I mean, we were just laughing at the end. We were like, imagine coming out of the water, wet completely. It's raining. You want to be warm, and everybody's nice and warm eating. And this happens right there at dinner. And it's like, where are the boats? And everybody just like, oh my God, we see the boats over there. And then we start seeing like yellow and blue and red. And like, oh my God, all the kayaks that we put next to the boats, the water came up. And, that was our experience. And we learned never to leave in a place like that, just take it all the way up there next to your tent, hopefully.
But and I know when I've been in Costa Rica, when we take out at the Pecuaria jungle camp at the Eco Lodge there, you'll be like 50 or 70 meters away from the little house, and Walter and Arnaldo are always saying, "Oh, we make sure we take the boats all the way up there," and you're just like, "Why? Yeah. It's so far."
Oh my God! We take them up there, and then we tie them.
And they tie them down.
Yeah. No. Only one time that happened to you. The next time you go and you do the whole thing, and new guys will go like, "It's never gonna get there," and go like, "Sure, I seen him here. I seen him over there where you're standing." So shut up.
Totally. Yeah.
It's a good thing to learn. Well, Arnaldo, Walter, do you guys have any other questions you think we ought to ask him?
Well, I went with Mariano in 2014 to California, and we spent a season up there, 3 months, camping, working as a raft guys. And I didn't know that Mariano was going to the same company. And actually, I was with Alejandro, in the airport, one of my buddies. And when we are waiting for the flight, we see Mariano in the other side waiting too for the same flight, and we didn't know that, And it was so funny, like we spent such a great times up there, living together, and I got to know Mariano better, and we spent a great season.
Yeah, that was fun.
Really, really fun. Well, I have a story about the plane. I want to share this one.
Okay.
That's a good.
So, Alejandro said like, "Hey, we should bring a bottle of rum Centenario from Costa Rica to share with everyone up there." So we brought two bottles, and once that we are in the plane, we are high up in the air, and Alejandro said, "It would be nice to have a Centenario with Coke." and they were like, "Man, I don't think that's possible," And he's like, and there was a lady sitting right next to us in the aisle seat, and and Alejandro said like, "I got a plan. Wait." So he started chatting with the lady, and then he asked where she's coming from, and she said like, "Oh, I'm from Texas, but I went to Costa Rica for a meeting," and Alejandro said like, "Hey, have you tried the Centenario rum from Costa Rica?" And she said like, "No, never. Do you like to try it?" And then the lady said, like, well, I guess so. Yeah, it would be nice. So Alejandro stand up and open the tin on the top and pass me the bottle. I was like, oh my gosh. And then we're sitting down and he ordered a Coke and 3 glasses. So we're having a rum drink, a Cuba Libre, in the plane. And then Alejandro said, the only thing, we need a favor from you. Mariano is sitting way down front, So Alejandro told the lady, like, we need a favor. Can you please give this drink to the man with the hat on the front? And then the lady said, like, sure, yes, I can. So she walked. Mariano is sleeping in the aisle seat, head down, he's sleeping. And the lady, touch his arm, and Mariano just look up and he see Mariano see the drink. And then he look up and see this lady that never seen her before in his entire life. And then the lady only said, this is for you. If you want another one, just reach your hand up.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
We have more back there. That's what she told me. It's like, I'm sleeping, and she comes over and she wakes me up, and I look up, and there she gives me a drink, and they go like, if you need one more, if you need another one, just raise your hand. We got more back there. And I turn around, and this guy started looking at me like from back there in the plane.
So that was a good one to keep in mind always, And now a question that I have, like, right now the Pacuari is running in 1-day trips. You don't spend that much as driving to get there. Are you missing some of the missions, to get to the Pacuari back in the days and make it more, I don't know, special, I guess, because it's a teamwork, to accomplish that.
I remember that one time where my friend Alejo was like in charge of the logistics in Rios Tropicales, and we were going down the river. We with the coaster we get to the Jose Abel house, and that's where we transfer everything. But before that, way up there, we used to like yell, "Jose, 2 horses or 3 horses or 4 horses," for depending on how many boats. And I remember that Alejo called, Jose, 3 horses. No, 2 horses. And we got 3 boats. And we start walking down, and we were like waiting. One of us will take the food and the paddles and everything else, life jackets, the gear, everybody, change everybody. And we start heading down, and the horses will get there. But there was only 2 horses, and there were 3 boats. And they were like heavy boats, like any boat will be heavy on the way down there. And it was really muddy. And I remember that day I looked at Alejo and said, Alejo, 2 horses, 3 boats. Yeah. Oh, we'll figure out. No, 2 horses, 3 boats. Yeah. And then when we got the horses there, we packed the horses and put all this stuff in there. And I'm like, what are we going to do with this? And it's like, you and I will carry it. I'm like, oh, my God. By the time I got down from the Jose Abel house on a muddy road, not the road that they have now, really muddy all the way around because it was longer, not the one right now, all the way down, I stopped shaking legs probably by, I don't know, lower Huacas. When you carry so much weight on your shoulder, carry the boat down and then raft. I do miss some things from that because it was a challenge. I can say it in a word. The rafting was not just a river trip. It was an expedition. That's a bit different because you can make it like regular trip and just go down and do the trip, or you can just prepare the show. You're like the master of ceremony. You can just grab your crowd and own it and have it into that movie. You know, you're just gonna have that trip and make it the best, and people will like get what they want. You know, get what they and more. You know, you get the whitewater rafting, you get the stories, you get the fun part, the knowledge, and you learn stuff, and that's what people like to keep. You know, I have like people from Chicago going like, "Oh my God, I remember when you put our fingers in the termite nest, and then you got us eating them." You know, it's like I have people like kids telling me that on Facebook and stuff like that. It's because that they learn, they keep with something, in the memory.
Well, I was listening to a guy, and I don't know where this study happened, but they said that most people can't remember what they got for Christmas. And in the United States, Christmas is a big deal. You get Christmas presents, Santa Claus, all that. But if you say, what did you get 2 years ago? They can't remember. But if you ask anybody, tell us about the vacation that you did to wherever they go on vacation, vacations last. Those memories that you make as a family, as a person, I mean, those stick with you forever. And they were just talking about the importance of travel, and I think it's even more so important as we open back up after the coronavirus now, and things are settling back down. It's going to be so important for people, and hopefully people realize how much they've missed traveling. And I hope really that as a country in Costa Rica and all over the world, that the people will really, as a community, invite people back to come and experience their culture. Experience their food, their music, the rivers, all of that. I think it's going to be really important for the healing that we have as a world, I think. So anyway, well, Saba, thank you so much for your time today. This has been fun. We really, I know you got so many stories. We need to do this again. So Walter, we definitely need to make this happen again. But next time we're going to dive into more of these like river stories of like funny stuff, because I think people probably love hearing those. So
of course,
thank you. And again, if you're thinking of traveling down to Costa Rica, there are just some amazing people down here. Don't hesitate for a minute to come down. You will not regret it. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll hopefully see you down there soon.
All right.